What's the haps on the hops? Got yeast, that's beast. This the molten hour where we talk about our drink and tell you what we think every other week. And if we get drunk, well, we might slur our speech. Got the gift of gab, the friends you wish you had. Join us for a drink, join us for a laugh. Time is never wasted, where you getting wasted. The molten hour here, people take your places. People take your places. People take your home.
Oh no, oh no, it's being recorded, which means we're here for the Malting Hour for episode number 28. We made it. I am Tony, and as always with
Brandon.
Oh man, Brandon, how you doing?
Good. It's been a long week, and it's only Tuesday.
It's been a long. How long have this been going on now? Month and a half? I don't know anymore. I don't know how long.
It's a little over a month because I think the stay-at-home order went into effect to like March 17th, something like that.
Well, here we are being good people and staying at home, but that doesn't mean we can't have a guest. We are joined 27 episodes later by the first guest ever, Stephanie Rybandt.
Hello.
Insert like applause.
Where's the applause button?
I'm tired of inserting applause into any podcast I'm a part of, so it's just going to be you doing that noise. It's the same applause track I use too. Hey, welcome. Thanks for coming back on.
Yeah, thanks, Steph.
Heck yeah. Thanks for having me.
How have you been holding up during all this? Personally, not business-wise yet. We'll get to that.
Yeah. Not too bad, I guess. You know, it's a little bit weird. You own a small business and you're never home, and now we have a shelter-in-place order, and I'm home a lot. So that's been really interesting. I'm home with my dogs and my husband, and we've had our house for like 8 years, and I don't think I've ever spent this much time in it. So it's kind of nice. Like, we're making the best of it for sure. Drinking whiskeys, hanging out in my backyard when it's not snowing.
Yeah.
Seriously. In honor of you being on the show, as I said, I am drinking some whiskey.
Cheers. I cheers you.
Cheers.
Nice.
Brandon, you're being responsible and not drinking whiskey on a Tuesday night. I appreciate you.
That's right.
That's responsible?
Someone's got to drive the ship. Well, that's good. So, and you're working from home as well, right? Trying to make everything work while you're at home. So that's got to be fun.
Yeah, there's still plenty of work to do. There's a fair amount of work to do, trying to figure out what various programs the business can apply for, trying to figure out how we can still be operating some sort of way. So trying to remotely run a small business that's like super crippled by a pandemic is definitely a job. So that, but we're being creative and it's working, so I guess that's a good thing.
Now you guys hadn't had, how long has it been since I'm going to back it up real quick. How long has it been since you guys have actually kind of had to say, hey, we need, like, once the restaurant said they had to close, you guys hadn't done much, right?
Yeah, so it was getting really hairy. Before they announced the shelter-in-place order, business had already kind of really slowed down. People were already not really coming out, and it was becoming obvious that wasn't a good idea. So we kind of saw the bottom falling out, and we saw that it was kind of a dangerous situation to be bringing customers into our space anyway.
Sure.
So we had sort of like gone down to just a curbside operation, and then the no dine-in order came and the shelter-in-place order came, and a lot of my staff has small kids or takes care of like a grandparent or something. So I didn't have staff that wanted to work, and I didn't want to make them work, and so we just decided to kind of like stop for a while and see what would be the safest way to proceed if we could. It was kind of scary for a while, and it was a huge decision to just say, we're going to stop. and I didn't quite know what we were going to do. And then Lake Effect Brewing called me and said, do you want to make a pie and I'll deliver it with beer? And I was like, okay, Fannie's doesn't have to go away all the way. You know, there's something we can still do. So Brilliant. It was funny because I really thought that we weren't going to do anything for a while.
Sure.
And until we could, I mean, we don't have delivery drivers and again, like, what do you do? How do you balance keeping your staff safe and keeping your customers safe, but not crumbling? Like, it's really hard to figure out, you know? So I think the reason small business owners are awesome is because we have to be creative while we're freaking out.
Like, is that what you guys do normally, though?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
I feel like you guys are
freak out.
You guys are like pandemic preppers, just owning a small business. I think I said this to you before. There's one thing I've learned from you, my friend. I never want to own a small business. And that's just because of who I am. It has nothing to do with you guys. Everybody owns a small business who are doing what they can to make ends meet and finding these creative ways to make these businesses keep on going, because you guys are like the life source of our neighborhoods. It's pretty awesome. And from what I've noticed, and I'm glad you went into the collaborations, because I know, Brandon, you've taken part in ordering these collaborations. I think we talked about the episode. What did you get from them when you
so we did the French silk pie with the ooh la la, and then the blueberry pie with the
Blueberry Hills or whatever it's called.
Yeah. And then actually today we just had a delivery of some pretzels and beer cheese. We got 2 orders of that. So yeah, with That's the awesome. Super beer and the Falcon Dive IPA. So yeah, that was awesome.
I'm on my way.
It came like super early too. I was just like sitting on the couch. It was like 11, not even 11. It was like 10:30. And the doorbell rang, and I looked over, and I'm like, oh, there's beer and pretzels on my porch. I'm like, yeah, it was awesome.
Right. We really figured out how to help people through like a shelter order when we're bringing beer and treats to your door.
Yeah. That's brilliant. And you guys also did with Lake Effect the beer and shepherd's pie.
Yeah. So we've done a shepherd's pie. We've done pretzels and cheese. We have a cookie and stout coming up next week, and then we've done a whole bunch of mini pies and beer. So who knew pie and beer was such a good combo? Like, I mean,
It
turns out people are into it. Like, it's pretty awesome. So
I haven't been able to partake because I'm being good about what I'm eating, not necessarily drinking. And I've talked to you about this. I said, when's the keto collaboration coming? I'll drink the beer. But man, I can't bring myself to eat a whole pie, because I will eat a whole pie, especially the shepherd's pie. I will eat all of that, and the French. I will eat all of it. I will eat all of it. I can't bring myself to do that. But I did support in one way. I was able to help out with deliveries one Saturday. Clint from Lake Effect brought me on board, and that was fun to do. To actually see it like firsthand. The pies. It was pies, beers, and face masks that the Chicago costume shop made. So that was cool, and people were really excited about it. Everybody was super nice. They were happy to see me. Nobody threw anything at me. One time, an 8-year-old, though, did come to the door, and I was like, I need to see a parent. I can't leave beer with you. And then I saw the dad peek up like, hey, I'm here. And I'm like, okay, it's up to you now. It's in your hands. You've made confirmation that this is
saw the parent. Here you go, little kid. Here's your beer.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, there's an adult. Enjoy, kid.
Oh, my God.
So I'm going to jail.
That's awesome.
Yeah. No, that's super cool. I think that's awesome. And I actually bought beer that day when I left my shift. So I did my part. I've been buying beer.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that. We the community has really come out to support the small businesses, which I super appreciate. We had something like 130 pretzel orders, which is awesome for something we only offered for like 3 days.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I think that, it was frustrating because a all of this happened and small businesses needed a lot of help, and these programs came out, and I feel like the government and our leaders they just weren't ready for all the small businesses that would need help. And I think that it demonstrates how fragile small business actually is. And I think that's been underestimated for a long time.
Sure.
And, there's a reason why small business owners, like we said earlier, can be creative and pivot and work under panic, because we do this, because like this is our existence a lot of times. So I'm sure there's a lot of lessons and a lot of things that we're all going to learn from this, but I would hope that one of them is just knowing just how much we really rely on everyday business and how fragile the whole ecosystem of small business really is, but how much you miss it when it's not there, So I appreciate what our community is doing for us where our government can't do it.
Yeah, it was
also box for a minute.
Hey, that's what this is for all 12 of our listeners. One who's in Ireland, we found out recently. So if you're still listening to us in Ireland, thank you.
Oh, heck yeah.
I think you're exactly right. And as going along with the small business thing, one of the things I've also noticed, like, it was awesome to see all the orders that I did see when I made the deliveries, like how many people were ordering. It wasn't just like, oh, I want 1 beer, pie, and face mask. It was, I want 2 of those plus a 6-pack, and also here's a $25 tip to Lake Effect. So it was super awesome. And I know that a lot of breweries are appreciating the fact that the laws have been adjusted so that they can do delivery and they can do curbside pickup. And that's one of the things that I think has been pretty awesome, seeing the support, and pretty much everyone that I know has done some sort of curbside pickup from a local brewery, because I think people are, like you said, people are realizing, hopefully they're starting to realize, like, we need these places. These are places that we love, and so we want them. And I was just talking with my dad today, because Laura and I actually signed up to get some coffee from Percolator, which is right down the street from Joe. And I was like, it would be terrible to have an empty storefront over here because of a pandemic. And so, I mean, it just makes you think about, like you said, all this, the small businesses that we rely on so much. And if you guys go away, all we have is a bunch of empty storefronts, and that's not going to be good. It's a selfish reason, but it's also like, hey, I don't want everything to go to shit when you guys are gone.
Well, right. Yeah. And no, I think that it reminds people that they do have a part in what the quality of their community is, right? Mm-hmm. Like, we don't just drop in because we want to. I mean, I've been a member of the neighborhood where my business is located. I've lived here my whole life, right? And a lot of people who own businesses here can say the same thing, or they now live near their business. I think our neighborhood specifically, like within the Six Corners area in Chicago, it's something crazy. Like 60% of the small business owners live like within a half mile of their business. So
that's crazy.
We're all super invested here in the community, and we're building and cultivating this community, and everyone can help. You're part of it, whether you realize it or not. So maybe this is a way to know that your $8 on a shepherd's pie does mean something when 4 people on your block do it.
Right.
It keeps us around, and it keeps us in those storefronts for sure.
That's awesome. It is cool to see the neighborhood, because I'm in the neighborhood as well, and so is Brandon. To see everybody kind of great. Now everybody knows where we live. All 12 listeners and the one in Ireland. It is cool to see everybody pulling together like that. Now, so you just recently announced that you will be reopening the kitchen.
Yeah, isn't that exciting? I'm so excited.
I'm excited. The first thing I said, I was like, damn it. That I might actually add an applause for. Maybe like a roaring crowd, like way over the top.
Cool, roaring crowd.
Okay. Anyway,
I think we did hear it. we were super, super fortunate. So anyone who, I don't know, anyone who paid attention to stuff on Facebook knew she was pissed about the lack thereof. So the minute that I could apply for any help as a small business owner, I did, and I applied to everything that the governor and the mayor or anyone threw at us, right? So we were extremely fortunate to get some of the federal Paycheck Protection Program money.
Insert applause.
Yeah, woo! That was amazing because that was not an easy thing to do. And I think we're pretty lucky. I know a lot of businesses didn't get that, or haven't gotten anything yet. Maybe there's something coming. And you need to spend it on payroll so I can bring people back to work. So that means we can work. That means we can start opening the kitchen again. And we're trying to figure out how to do it in a way that is like safe and responsible and conscious of our customers and our staff. So it's not going to look like Fannie's did before this all happened, right? But hey, man, we can bring biscuits and gravy back to the hood. That's some good news, right? So
that's
so
exciting.
We're figuring that out. Yeah,
that's super exciting. One of the first things when I saw that, I was like, oh, cool, I can go and pick up breakfast on Saturday mornings.
Yeah, exactly. I'm excited. And it was so, sometimes you feel like, and especially now that we're all stuck at home, you kind of feel alone when you own a business, right? Because like you carry the weight of it. And now like we really don't have anyone to go hang out with or talk to unless, I can G-chat my friend Tony sometimes.
While I'm at work. Yeah.
So
helps me escape.
When I posted that we wanted to open the kitchen again and I asked people what they were missing, and then this like slew of comments came with everyone saying their favorite things that they were missing, that really lifted us up. It brought the team got excited, like, oh yay, the neighborhood does miss us, like that's awesome. So
that's super cool.
Yeah, it really was.
So you guys are still working on what it is. Are you guys gonna have the whole menu available or just kind of
probably not. I mean, so here's the thing, like you shut down your kitchen and then you gotta buy all the supplies for your whole menu.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So like,
you mean it didn't stay fresh this whole time and it's not just sitting in the fridge?
Yeah, it turns out like, all the ingredients didn't just hang out for like 3 weeks. So it'll be gradual, right? It'll be like a handful of items, the favorites. That's why I went out there and asked people what they want to see, what they miss. So we're going to listen to what they said and sort of start opening up the kitchen, offer a few things, build it up, see what the governor does, see what happens with shelter orders, and just kind of take it, a little bit at a time.
Before just rolling the dice and everything. Yeah.
Exactly. So we'll see. But like, the favorites for sure. Scones are coming back. Biscuits, gravy's coming back. Hash. Everyone wants hash. So
sunrise rolls.
Just for you, man. Just for you and your lady.
That's the only thing Becca said was, I was like, oh, they're reopening. She was like, it better be with sunrise rolls. I was like, it's like, you might be the only one that likes them. I don't know.
There were times where we only made them for her. Like, send these to the farmer's market, hide them under the table, only give them to Brandon. It was covert operation.
We bought a bunch of them, and there's like, these are the last ones. And then it turns out there was 2 actually like on the side for us.
Yeah.
Hey, it worked out.
That's awesome.
We'll make a few. Don't worry. We'll see how it goes. It's weird. It's a weird world, right? We don't know what's going to happen, but we'll do our best.
At this point, it's so hard to predict. Like, even like if you come up with a menu and you start the menu, like, like trying to figure out who's going to be there, who's going to order, who's going to pick up, that kind of stuff, and it's funny because, your announcement just came out and like the same time, like Gal Street just announced that they're reopening too. And like,
yeah.
They kind of did the same thing. They put out a survey like, what do you want us to make? Like, what are you going to order if we make stuff? And it's like, it's so hard to think like all of these great restaurants, like you guys, like Gal Street, like these places that are closed down that are like trying to open back up, and it's like, you can't do everything, obviously, because you can't please everyone, but you also want to do what's going to actually move. You don't want to make a crap load of stuff and just have it sitting around, I guess,
Right.
So weird.
Well, and it's this weird, interesting, like delicate little dance we need to do, right? Because it's, the world's different. So for example, people want family style options. We didn't offer family style anything, but we probably will now because people want to pick up like biscuits and gravy for the whole family, right? You're not coming and sitting down where everyone can order their own thing. So that's something that'll be different. But also this, the Paycheck Protection Program says you need to spend all of the money they gave us on payroll. So if we don't spend it on payroll, it's not forgiven. So now we need to figure out like, okay, I need to get everyone in here and work and do enough work to justify this payroll. So we got to make sure we have the customers and the business to justify these paychecks. Like it's this weird little
it's like a symbiotic it's a symbiotic relationship. Like if you guys even more so, like in order for you guys to, like, now that you have this opportunity to serve, people need to come and get served, you know, so that it keeps going, so the cycle continues. It's kind of like a business, like just regular business, and why small businesses need customers. Weird how that works. But now it's more, now it's more important than ever, just to keep places going.
Yeah. Because your biggest loss is the foot traffic. Like you don't have the people just casually walking by. You don't have the people casually driving by to grab a coffee or whatever. So now you're in a position where, you're going back to people needing to order ahead, and, like you are becoming a destination without ever wanting to be that kind of destination, like the ordering type of destination. Like,
right. It was one thing before when I could like figure out a budget and figure out my payroll because I could, we'd had years and years of weekend business and I could estimate, all right, here's what we make on the weekends because people come in and they sit down and they eat brunch and this is how it goes and this is who we can afford to pay. And, now it's like, all right, I got to pay these people this money. And now I got to make sure this many people order in advance and come here and pick up. So, it's almost like when you start from the beginning and you're trying to make projections, but you don't know what's going to happen, so it's going to be a lot of like day to day. All right, how did this go? Did this work? Did this not work? We're going to be evaluating almost on a daily basis what we're putting out there to order online. There's some fun things I'm excited about though. Like we've had some ideas where we make, so there's this thing happening where people are dropping off gifts on their friends' doorsteps.
Yeah, nobody's done that for me yet, which I'm really pissed about, Gus.
Oh, I got one of those.
Fuck you guys. I see where I stand. It's because I disagree with him on Jay's beef.
See?
Thought Shannon would be cooler about it, but it's cool. It's cool.
You just keep your mouth shut sometimes, and then cocktails wind up on your doorstep. But I think a lot of people are doing that, so we may offer like a doorstep neighbor gift that you can order online and then go bring to a friend, and so things like that. We came up with this like at-home birthday party package. So a lot of kids have birthdays, but they can't have a party, so we're making little like tea party packages or something like that.
Nice.
Yeah, so there's a lot of brainstorming going on of different things that we can do because what do people need now? What a consumer needs now compared to what they needed in January is very different.
Toilet paper.
I wish I could get my hands on like mini hand sanitizers because we wanted to give it away with every breakfast order.
Oh yeah.
See, when we're going back to what you were saying about how like you have to open, like how you have to run the business now and how you're opening up and how it's changing from what it used to be. I think I feel like this is the smart way to, I know a lot of people, certain people want to just open up the country again. And well, I don't think that's a great idea. And I'm standing by my own thoughts. You guys don't have to agree with me. That's fine. That's just how I'm feeling. I feel like we should all just kind of still shelter in place until it's safe. But I feel like this is the smart way to do it. This is the way you begin to do it. You have places like your business and other small businesses open up a little bit, and you can have those businesses start to sell their goods, and people have a chance to get out and do the, contact-free pickup. I did that recently with the homebrew shop, Gnome Brewing. They were awesome. They had my order ready. They left it. When I told them I was coming, they said, okay, we'll put it outside in 15 minutes. And sure enough, it was sitting right there, and I was able to grab it. Obviously, you guys might not be just putting it on the ground, I'm assuming, because it's food. Here you go. Eat up, jerks.
We have a little table. No, but I mean,
I think it's a great idea. This is how we restart the economy. As far as like having businesses open up and slowly do this, because having it built like this, and it can go on to slowly but surely opening up other places that can offer some sort of I don't know where to go with it, but some other businesses can open up slowly like this. I think it would be reckless to just say, okay, you know what, all restaurants, you guys can go. Let's do this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's face it. The reality of the situation is we're not going back to how it was for a while. Like, we're just not, So this is what the new reality is, and so we make the most of it. We do the best we can. Yeah. And we figure out what the in-between is, from not being open at all to, 25 people can't sit in my dining room anymore. All right. So we'll figure it out, because it's just reality that it is what it is. And we can all wish that we could, you think I'm not dying to go to a Summerfest? You think I'm not dying to go to Jazz Fest or Hiss?
I'm dying to go to Pitchfork, and that is probably most likely almost 100% not going to happen.
Right. Exactly. I mean, we've been Chicagoans our whole lives. There's shit we're going to miss, And so, it sucks, but it doesn't mean we should do it.
We'll just do our own festivals like this. Right. We'll just get on, Google Hangouts or whatever, and we'll just, everybody listen to music with headphones on.
Just nod your head.
Yeah, exactly.
I do have to say, like, being a person that's genuine.
Being a person, period.
Being a person, but like, I am one of those people that's comforted by my tribe of people, right? Like, if shit's going down in my life, I want to be with my friends. That always made me feel better. I go sit, and Tony and I can sit and drink and talk for 5 hours and not even realize it's been 5 hours, right? So this has been weird. But,
It's the worst because of how fast the time, like, you realize the time.
But I mean, this is better than nothing. I can see you. I know what it's like to sit at your bar, and I'm not there, but at least we're talking. This does make me feel better. When we're done today and I go on down for the night, I'll be happy that we did this.
Yeah, definitely. And even though you're missing the Prince tribute concert right now.
Even though I am missing the Prince tribute concert.
So who's doing a Prince tribute concert?
A lot of people.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't know about this, but apparently they recorded it like after the Grammys in January or something like that.
Yeah, it was in January.
Yeah, there's a whole Prince tribute concert.
Welcome to the Prince podcast, where we talk about all things Prince.
So there's a customer out there, and I don't know her name, and I wish that I did, but she's a really good customer, and the day, I will not ever forget this, the day that Prince died, I was making gravy in my kitchen for biscuits and gravy, and she had ordered it. And she came up to the counter to pay, and she came up with her ticket, and she was like, "Thank you so much. How are you guys doing?" And I just looked at her and I went, "Well, Prince died." And then didn't say anything else. Like, worst customer experience ever. Like, I didn't say thank you for coming. How was your meal?
Oh my God.
I just looked at her and was like, "Well, Prince died." And she's like, "Oh, sorry." And then she
worst Yelp review ever.
Yeah. So I'm really, if you're listening, customer, that day, sorry. Just upset by the news. I think I played Purple Rain in the background for like 5 hours, so that was for sure.
Just on repeat.
Yeah.
And that customer has been living this whole time thinking you had a cat named Prince, and it died.
Oh man, Brandon, where are we at on time?
I have no idea. There's no counter on this.
God damn it. Well, we're gonna take a quick break. Just a quick break. It's gonna be quick. come back and talk very briefly. This is going to be a very long episode because there's one or two more things I wanted to talk about with you before we let you get to Prince.
Okay.
My back hurts.
No, wrong tagline. That's for the other show.
Oh.
You have a tagline, dude? I didn't even know.
Oh yeah, that's for our Aches and Pains podcast.
That's for We're Getting Old, the podcast.
Oh my god.
And we're back.
There it is. Welcome back. Welcome back. We're here, still here. We're here with Stephanie of Fannie's fame. Also, the first guest ever on this show.
Yeah, I was so about that.
Yeah, remember when we planned to, just like every other episode, we planned to do like 9 things, and we rarely, now, not gonna say never, we rarely do it. We never recorded us drinking the triple all together. But we all did try the triple at least, so that was good. And it was just recently. Brandon, is it still at your house?
I don't remember drinking that. Did I? That's terrible.
You drank it.
That's gone.
It's gone. Okay, perfect. No, that's fine because there wasn't much left. But thanks, Steph. You did drink it, by the way.
I'm sure that I really liked it.
Hey, anyways, Brandon, I believe you had a question for the last time our guest will ever be on.
I just like so many of your beers, Tone, and sometimes they're strong, and then I forget all the ones I try.
It's the biggest crock of shit I've ever heard.
I'll allow it. Oh yeah, so then a question. Not a question, but so with all of this going on, so when, like, tentatively, what is your plan to kind of relaunch or reopen the restaurant?
Yeah, so my goal is to be offering at least something by the weekend. Like, so it's Tuesday, right?
Technically, when this episode come out, it's the weekend before. This is the Monday after the weekend you're trying to open up.
Yeah, so I don't know.
So yesterday, hopefully you opened.
Yesterday, hopefully we were serving biscuits and gravy. It's just so, it's been a little bit rough because I don't have staff. Like, I had a full staff, and then all of this happened, and then I mentioned earlier that a lot of my team either has really small kids or are caregivers for parents or grandparents, right? So I ran into this like really weird conundrum where I'm trying to get my team to come back to work, but they're not entirely comfortable doing that because they have like high risk people that they're responsible for, which I totally get. You know, right. I don't want to make one of my servers, her mom has lung disease and is diabetic, and she's like, I don't really want to serve customers because I take care of my mom. I'm bringing her groceries or, you know, right. whatever. So it's kind of this rough situation because I don't want to, but I have to pay people, right? So like back to that, the Paycheck Protection Program, I have to have a payroll. I don't want to replace people who've worked for me for years, but I have to pay somebody to come do the job, you know? Yeah. So it's like this really weird situation that I'm finding myself in, where I'm having conversations with my employees saying, hey, you know, come back to work. And they're like, oh, I'm not comfortable. I have a baby or my grandma or whatever. And I don't want to be like, well, if you don't come back to work, I got to replace you. Like, that's shitty. I'm not that kind of boss, but I kind of have to because I don't want to take this loan and not have a person. So, so right now we're just trying to see who's available, see who we can work with and say, okay, you know, if you're only here on this day and no one else is here, and how do we limit how many people we have in the kitchen, and how do we make sure you can maintain a distance? I don't know how many of you have ever been in a commercial kitchen, but there's not a whole lot of space.
You're kidding.
So maintaining 6 feet while we're, you know, cooking and working together, we need to figure out how we can do that as best we can. If I can get that figured out in the next 4 days and we can offer at least a few things this weekend, that's what I would love to do. At minimum, I'll have the bakery menu up. So we're going to start, you know, scones, birthday cakes, cinnamon buns, like all of that. We can get that rolling, and then just try to get the kitchen stuff. So it's just weird. How do I get people in without losing staff, without, you know, having people sacrifice their job?
That's tough to make that decision, but I mean, obviously you have that in mind, which I think is awesome, because I think it'd be easy for, not easy, and this sounds shitty, but it might be easy for some people just to be like, okay, well, sorry, you can't make it, adios. But I feel like that is not the small business mentality, though, you know, like it's.
Yeah, no, we're all family, you know. I mean, I'm really fortunate. A lot of my staff have been with me for a lot of years. I mean, I've had people who've worked with me 6 years, 4 years, you know. I'm not going to have them go through everything we've been through together while I built this business for 6 years, only to be like, well, sorry, fuck you. Like, that's just not, you know, that's not how we're going to do this. So yeah, I mean, it's a lot of interesting coordinating that we're trying to do.
Yeah, you need to have one of those Ron Burgundy horns and just yell, Fannie's team, assemble! And then they all just come running to the bakery. That's what I kept hearing in my head. She's like, I wonder if people are going to come back. I'm like, you just need to call, and they'll come running. And that was kind of the thing that I was thinking about too. So like, we talked briefly like about like, I think maybe we were on the break, but like Gal Street coming back. And I know that like George from Gal Street had announced that like they were trying to pay their people, you know, while they were gone. And it's like, not everybody can do that. And then you have to wonder too, like, you know, even then, like, if you get let go from a job, like some people like, all right, get let go, maybe you're getting paid from your old job. Who's not to say that they didn't go out and find another job too at the same time? Like, you know, and then they're like, oh, you need to come back. And they're like, no, sorry, I've got something else. Or it's like, hey, I've decided that I'm going to take care of my family. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Or, I mean, they made the unemployment benefit available, like if you were disrupted from COVID. So if I can't offer the same amount of hours, I don't want to jeopardize their unemployment benefit that they're getting
Right.
because of the disruption, right? So there's another thing that I'm trying to consider. Like, okay, we need to get the payroll back to like 80% of what it was, and I need to spread that out and have my team come back. But I know at least a handful of them applied for the unemployment benefit when we shut down.
Yeah.
Now they give us 8 weeks to spend this payroll. At the end of 8 weeks, when that money's gone, well, what if I can't justify it? What if the economy is still not recovered? What if the customer, you know, like if the business isn't there and I can't promise them those hours anymore, are they going to go back on unemployment? Is that going to be an option? What are we looking at there? So it's just all of these like crazy factors. You know, 2 of my bakers said, Steph, I'm just going to stay on unemployment right now. My dad has heart disease and we're going to stay home. And I was like, you know what? That's fine. You know, I'll try to work with you when you can come back. So there's just a lot to think about to try to coordinate this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's like, it's hard to wrap my head around, like not being a small business owner, like just trying to like just fathom like the amount of like loopholes and things that you have to go through just to survive. That's hard, you know, and even then, like, you know, you can set up shop Sunday and say, all right, this is how it's going to go. You have a plan in place, and who knows what curveball is going to get thrown your way. Like, you could lose staff again. Like somebody can get the Rona and be like, yo, I'm outie. And then like, you know, or they bring the Rona to the entire place. And then like,
okay, pump the brakes.
Like there's so many.
No, I know, I'm joking around.
So many weird variables in here that like, you know, you can't map it all out. And I think if you try to, it's going to drive you nuts. You know, you have to pick, you know, in my head, it's you pick a plan, you run with it, and hopefully it's a good one. And then you adjust as needed. But like, just don't like think of the worst happening. Just hope for the best, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, so I've always said this as so small business owner, how do you the best way to mitigate risk is to have a plan, right? So like, everything we do is a massive risk. Starting a business is a huge risk. And so the best way to mitigate risk and deal with fear is to have a plan. And for the 9 years I've owned my business, every plan I've made has just gone to shit. So like, I've pretty much come to terms with the fact that, you know, you do the best you can, but the best skill you can have is just being able to pivot and problem solve. And that's just what we're going to have to do. And that's what we're going to try our best to do. And then, you know, what I can really ask is just customers to be patient. You know, some people like when we closed, we got a lot of messages sent to me, and I appreciate that people had a ton of ideas, and, you know, they were like, can you do a cookie subscription? Can you do this? Can you do this? What if you did this? What if you did this? I can't even tell you between Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, our website, how many messages I got, right? There was no way I was answering them all. I'm sorry. Like, I really wanted to. And I got this email from a lady who was like, wow, I sent 2 messages offering help. You'd at least think I'd get a response. Thanks a lot. And you're not even answering the phone.
Oh my God.
Sorry, we're not open right now.
Yeah. I'm like,
We're thinking about you.
Because we're not there. And, you know, and it's not like I didn't answer because I didn't appreciate the suggestion. There was just like, my small business is falling apart. My staff is freaked out. I'm freaked out. We're trying to figure out everything. that nothing personal if I didn't reply to your idea about cookie subscription. That's a good idea. Like if I can figure it out, I'll figure it out, you know. So
How about selling cookie dough? That would be a good
also maybe not. I don't know. Like
Yeah, I've got an
idea.
idea.
Like cookie dough.
Let me make a suggestion. Maybe you should do like a muddle subscription. You know, the muddle. Just let me subscribe to that. Let me. You know what? Just can I come over and pick up a muddle? Yeah. Can you just make me a muddle right now?
Of gravy, no biscuits, just a pan of gravy.
Just a bucket of gravy to your door.
Because a small business owner loves nothing. Yeah, a small business owner loves nothing but suggestions on how to run their business.
Oh, my favorite phrase ever is, you know what you should do? You know what you should do? It's my favorite.
I mean, obviously this is coming from a different place because it's a different situation, and like you know, you appreciate it. And it's cool to see, you know, people really wanting to try and help and give ideas. But obviously, there's only so much you can do with the resources that you had or have, you know. And hopefully that is making a change right now.
That's what my huge ask would be, like, you know, if the hours on Gmail don't match one day, or like when you Google us, our hours don't match, it's just because I probably forgot to update it that day because maybe someone called in sick and now we have to close sooner than I thought, or, you know, like we're all going to have to be adjusting quite a bit, I think, you know, and so people are just going to have to roll with it would be my huge ask to the customers for sure.
Yeah, and if there's one time in your life to roll with it, now is the time, everybody.
Now would be the time. Yeah.
Because we're all having to roll with it. I did want to bring up one other thing, mainly because I think I'm going to title this episode Survivor: Small Business Edition, and featuring Stephanie. Because I mean, we did talk about some beer and everything, but you're a good friend of ours, and we consider you a good friend of our show, and you know, we obviously want you to. We bring up you a lot, actually. Your restaurant. I don't know. Maybe you know that if you listen to the show. I'm not sure if you actually do that. That's fine. It's nothing personal. That's cool. I don't get drop-offs of mixed cocktails at my house. My friends aren't listening to my shows. It's cool. I'm doing this all for myself. It's a whole big ego thing. What I wanted to bring up was that shut up. What I wanted to bring up was it's mainly just so I could talk with Brandon and drink. That's the idea. Because Brandon and I had an excuse to be like, you know what? Let's have a beer. Right before all this started, the pandemic, well, as before it, you know, kind of escalated, you and Clint at Lake Effect started another collaboration that I'm very excited about. And if people haven't seen the videos, you guys are actually, so you're doing the Fannie's chocolate cakes barrel-aged stout again.
Yeah. So we tried this out last year where Clint had this idea to take our chocolate cake. Our chocolate cake is like the best chocolate cake. I don't know if you've had it.
Agreed.
Everyone. It's really good.
I don't think I've had that chocolate cake. I'm going to request some.
Oh, maybe it'll be you know what you should do, Stephanie? A chocolate cake subscription service.
Yeah. Okay. Noted. Does this count as my reply to you? Anyway, so we did this. It's kind of funny because I didn't know anything about making beer, and Clint, there it is. Look, Brandon has the bottle with. How fun was it to see a Fannie's like logo on a bottle of beer? Like that was one of the best days ever for me.
I still have a sticker to put someplace. I put one sticker, I think, on my kegerator out in the garage.
I love it. It's so cool. So cool.
Yeah,
it's one of the coolest things ever. So we put 7 cakes in the mash for beer, and then I was like, all right, let's drink the beer. And he's like, no, it's going to go in a barrel for 7 months.
Worst idea ever.
What? You know, so he has these bourbon barrels, and so he last year aged it, and it was not a big batch. Do you guys remember how much he made? It was not
It was not a lot because it was only one like 5-gallon or 6-till keg that went to Fishman's, and that went very fast that night. And then the bottles sold out that weekend.
Right. I mean, within, I would say 4 days, that everything sold out. And
less than that. It was less than that, I think.
yeah. So it was really good. I mean, it came out so good. We didn't know
Very good.
how good it would be.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
I still haven't tried it.
What?
Graham, on my way. That's the bottle he's got.
Yeah.
So I showed up to the Fishman's event literally about 3 minutes before the last person got a pour.
Oh,
And like, so they were tapped out. Like, I was texting Tony the whole time, and he's like, "Oh yeah, it's still going." And then like, I was on Irving, like in front of the Jewel on Irving. He's like, "It just kicked." I was like, "God damn it!" Oh,
I think I had just finished mine as that happened too.
yeah.
I had
So
like 3 of them that night. I apologize.
the next morning, I ran over to Lake Effect when he opened, and I grabbed a bottle. Like, I didn't like, I could have grabbed more, but I don't know. Like, I'm not. I wanted other people to be able to try it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll enjoy this." And then I was like, now I'm just like, I don't want to open it right away. I want to savor it and like save it forever. It's like,
I have
so
to say,
when the next one comes out, we'll have to do a side by side.
There we go.
oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, it is. It's super cool that I will. So there were a few people who got bottles and then didn't drink them right away, right? So, every now and then I'll get like a message or a picture of someone who decided it was a special occasion and it was time for them to open their chocolate cake stout and drink it. So I'll get pictures of people like at a bonfire or someone having a special anniversary dinner and they decided to open their chocolate cake stout for that occasion. And so it's just kind of cool, you know, to see this thing that we did be part of a special occasion for our customers. That's awesome. And then they share it with me, which is so awesome. So we're doing it again. Moral of the story, to get back to the original question, is we're doing it again, and he is making more. Like the batch will be bigger this time. So
Isn't it already? He already put it in the barrels, right?
yeah. So we did twice as many cakes this time. So there's 12. We threw 12 cakes. The videos will come out, and they're hysterically funny. Of Clint and I literally throwing, slam dunking,
That's great.
alley-ooping cakes into the mash. It was awesome. So, but that's not, so I don't think it'll be ready until the end of October or November. So, yeah.
Maybe by the time
Maybe we'll be
quarantine
able to gather and share it by then. I mean, who know, you know, at least maybe the three of us.
Yeah, well, as long as we got that going for us, that's all that matters. And plus, then Brandon can finally try the original.
As soon as the quarantine ends, Clint's going to have a VIP event, and then all of it's going to spread again, and we're all going to be stuck back in quarantine.
You hear that, Clint? No VIP events right now.
Right before all this happened, right, was Pi Day.
Oh, yeah.
So
we were all there. We were all there together.
Yeah. So we did a VIP event right before, and and it was so weird. I was like, I think this might be the last time I see you guys for a while, and we're all kind of like, yeah, probably.
Yeah. Well, we didn't think a lot of people were going to show up because of it, because it had just started hitting the area, and kind of picking up and gaining traction. And sure enough, it was like the next week that everything kind of started falling into place as far as like being on lockdown.
Well, Illinois got grounded because we couldn't stay home for St. Patrick's Day. So, like,
oh, right.
Pi Day was the 14th. Everyone went out for St. Patrick's Day, and then we all had to stay home after that. So
Illinois got grounded. I love that.
We got grounded because Chicago can't stay home for St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, we love drinking our beer. No offense to the person still listening to us in Ireland.
Yeah. Oh, so you know what? Then like, kind of going back to thinking about that. So was it the 20th then that they gave like the official lockdown? I think 13th is when they announced. Oh, because the 16th originally is when the bars and stuff were supposed to start. Like bars and restaurants were supposed to close, and that had like, you know, gyms and stuff were still open because I was like, I'm not going to export, dude. Like, and then like that whole week, and then that Friday, the 20th, because I remember seeing pictures of like on St. Patrick's Day, like the bars were supposed to be closed, and then there was a line of people outside of a bar downtown, and I'm like, why is that bar open? Like,
well, and there were, which I mean, I get why they did it, but also this was dumb. There were a few places that had like party, you know, because they said that the shelter order was coming and the no dine-in order was coming, and they gave us like a hard 5 o'clock whatever day, right?
Yeah.
And there were places that were like, end of the world party, come in and have half price appetizers before we shut down. And it was like, this is the exact opposite of what you should do. Like, I mean, were we all freaked out because we all had, stocked kitchens? Everyone was getting ready for St. Patrick's Day weekend. It's a huge weekend in our industry. Yeah. I get it. I mean, our bakery gets busy because everyone needs hangover food the next day for breakfast. Like, we sell so many biscuits and gravy on St. Patrick's Day weekend. So we were stocked too, but I didn't encourage crowds of people to come eat the food. Like, so it was horrible timing, obviously, but again, that's reality, and you can't, be like, fuck it.
Yeah, quote Outcast, you can plan a pretty picnic, but you can't predict the weather.
There you go.
That's the malting hour, everybody. Thanks for joining.
Turns out you have a tagline too.
That's how I'm going to end every episode from now on.
I was going to say, corned beef was really cheap that week because nobody was going out. I think I got it for like 79 cents a pound or something like that. I was like, yes.
Yeah,
I know.
It was the first year I got corned beef because it was on sale. I never buy it.
And I actually regret not buying more and just freezing it. Like,
yes.
I felt so bad. So one of our suppliers, Harrington's, are they Harrington's corned beef? Or, I don't know what Harrington's. They do the corned beef. It's the best corned beef in the neighborhood, right? Any St. Patrick's Day party that's happening, like, comes from them. And so that shutdown order came, and we were picking up like the last order that I had from them, and he told me that, in an instant, they lost 60 catering orders, and they were all like, and they were parties of 50 and 100 and 500.
Oh God.
And it was just gone overnight. So, what do you do? Like, he had the product, he had all his meat ready, he was ready to go. You plan for that, right? And then it was just gone.
Just to throw this out there, you got to always have your meat ready, just so you know.
Hey, and everybody, thank you for listening to the Malting Hour.
But that's a good point though. Like, if you're a business that takes catering orders like that, like, are you a dick if, like, let's say you have a contract for a catering order and people are like, hey dude, Corona, and then I need to cancel? Like, are you going to be like, I'm charging you because of that? Or are you going to be like, cool, no worries? Like, I feel like in the beginning that may have been more of like the way I'm like, if you're canceling last minute, dude, sorry, like, there's nothing I can do. We already have the food here for you. Versus like, I put in a catering order like beginning of, middle of February for something in April, and I had to cancel like at the end of March because, hey, this shit's getting extended. That's a little bit different, but like, I mean, I can't even fathom like how a business would deal with it, like, losing 60 catering orders that could probably easily be up to like 1,000 people that were being catered like across these parties. Like, what the fuck are you gonna do with all that corned beef?
Right. And depending on the situation, right? But like, I would say that the majority of restaurants aren't signing catering contracts the way people are signing other contracts where there's like force majeure clauses, and you might sign and say, yeah, I'm going to give you this much down and this is what's going to happen, but no one anticipates having to go fight an insurance company or fight a potential customer, like, what, in court? Like, what are we going to do now?
Old-fashioned fist fights in the street.
Right. Like, what do you do? And does force majeure apply? Like, that's a huge argument right now. I could have potentially used it against my lease. Does this count as one of those act of God type things? Is this how? But insurance companies aren't paying out. Our policies don't cover this.
Right.
In fact, my insurance company was like, your payment's late. I was like, thanks, guys. Yeah. So
talk to me when I got some money coming in, right?
I got my doctor's bill, and I was like, really?
honestly, I said, I have liability insurance. I'm like, I'm not doing anything. There's no risk. There's
Yeah.
why am I paying for this?
Well, just in case you decide to go in.
Mm-hmm.
Or somebody trips on the sidewalk, that one person that's walking by and falls in through the plate glass window and severs an artery.
Oh, one of the thousands of people who decided to take up jogging during a pandemic? Yeah.
Jogging.
You know what? There's a pandemic. Let's go jogging. Sorry, runners. I get it. I know there's a lot of runners before this, but it just seems like there's a lot more runners now.
Well, and I think part of it is because they're all home now. Like, it's like, oh, my next meeting's not till 10 o'clock. I'm going to go for a 4-hour run till 12. Like, I've never seen so many people like on Facebook be like, oh man, I just went for like a 10-mile run. I'm like, to where? Like,
just around the block 20 times.
Yeah. Like, oh, I was out. If you told me you were on your treadmill, I'd be like, okay, cool. But like, the people that are like, oh yeah, I drove out to the forest preserve. I did 10 miles, me and my family, and then we had a picnic, and like, no, dude, you're doing it. Although I'm at to the point now where I was like, I see a lot of bikers out there. Might as well, like, and I'm not talking about my motorcycle. I'm like, yeah, fuck that. Like, I was like, my bicycle is like needs to get tuned up, and I just found out that Cosmic Bikes is still open and they're servicing because they're an essential business because it's an essential mode of transportation. I was like, maybe I'll get my bike tuned up, and they're doing contact pickup. Like, they'll come pick it up.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'll open up my garage and be like, it's hanging on the wall. Go grab it.
Grab it and get out, you filthy animal.
And then they come back, leave it on the doorstep. Get the hell out of here. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, stuff like that. It's like, I think in my head, I'm like, that'd be awesome. But then I'm like, then I'm just one of those people that I'm like, why are you out there? You don't have to be out there.
No, it's hard, right? Like, for everybody. I mean, I think it's really interesting that people are starting to talk about how do you stay sane. Let's talk about what's mental illness gonna look like after this, or how many people. At least I'm home with my husband, right? I have somebody. There's a lot of people home with nobody.
Yeah.
And they're getting very lonely and they're getting very sad. And how do you balance like your sanity and your mental health with your physical health and your risk to your neighbor? And like, it's just another one of those things that has a million layers. That's really hard to know what is the best thing to do, right? I get it.
I just started thinking about that recently of, at some point this will end, and don't know when. If I knew, I'd be a millionaire because I'd have the vaccine. Yeah, right. I'd give that shit away, you greedy bastards. I want to know, like, it'll be interesting to see what the aftermath is of this. Like, you talk about mental health and just the way everybody else, like, how do we, as a society, interact with each other after this? Like, it's going to be really interesting. There's obviously, I think there'll be a lot of pros, but I don't. It's going to be interesting to see what the cons are. Like, what happens after having to be isolated and shelter in place for so long.
Yeah.
Right, and
on that downer note, no, I'm joking.
Well, and that's why I think it's an important thing to think about. I don't think it's anything that should be dismissed, and I think that's why it's so important that if you do reach out to the people that you care about. I mean, I have an aunt who was widowed less than a year ago, and so she was married for 40 years and always had someone for 40 years, and then went and he passed, and she was just trying to figure out, like, how does she do this by herself, and then this happens, and so now you go to like this extreme. Now I'm working from home, I don't have my husband anymore. We all have those people in our lives. Think about them. It's important now to think about them, because even so, we dropped off an Easter basket on her doorstep for Easter, and she sent us this really beautiful card in the mail thanking us for doing that, because just doing that helped her remember she wasn't alone. So even the smallest things that seem insignificant, or maybe you even feel like you're only doing it just to get yourself out of the house, are really meaningful and could make a difference on the other end of this, So it's, it's not something maybe that you're totally thinking about all the time while everyone is thinking about, oh my God, my paycheck, oh my God, my business, oh my God, my, whatever. But I think finding ways to stay connected is pretty damn important.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm going to call it right there. That was a really good way to end this episode. Like we covered a lot. This is probably the least beery episode we've ever had, but I think it's an important episode that we had. So Stephanie, thank you very much for coming back on, and we're happy to hear that you were able to get that loan that so many people were fighting for, and we hope others can get that. And I know our neighborhood will benefit from you having it, especially Becca with those sunrise rolls you're going to make for her.
Sunrise rolls on the horizon. That's all I'm saying.
Ooh, nice. That's your ending tagline right there. But we're really happy to have you back on the show, and we look forward to having you back on when we can all be sitting at the same bar, whether mine or most likely Brandon's.
No, we got to do it at Fannie's.
Oh, right. That's tradition. That's going to be tradition.
Over a bucket of gravy.
Bucket of gravy, triple, and some stout. Sounds
just get some biscuits and you just dip it in the bucket,
I think it'll be great.
Man, can I get that for curbside pickup?
I'll throw it in the consideration tank.
Stephanie, thanks a lot, and everybody on Chicago Northwest Side and anywhere in Chicago. Fannie is hopefully at this time when this episode's out, you can start placing your orders and go get some delicious food. Brandon?
Oh, so before we do close out, just for Steph, are you going to be doing any of the delivery services again?
Yeah, so the best thing I can say is anyone out there who wants to know what we're doing and how you can get a hold of some biscuits, gravy, or any of the other awesome things we're doing is follow us on Facebook and Instagram. That's where I try to update everyone as regularly as possible, right? But we are on Grubhub, so Grubhub will start back up again. We do have online ordering now for bakery orders, so if you wanted a birthday cake or some sort of, I don't know, yummy goody 24 scones or whatever, you can order that online. Yeah, you can order. So we'll have online ordering at fanniescafe.com, but the best thing to do, like I said, is follow us on social media and just I'll keep everyone posted on when and where and what is available and how to access it.
I'm really glad you segued into that because I was like, that's it, we're done. I said, everybody go check out Fannie's, go find them. And I did the terrible host thing of letting you plug something. Brandon, this is why I love you. All right, that's it. We're going to go. I hope everybody stays safe and stay away from the Rona. And remember to hug from 6 feet away. Is that a thing? We're going to do it. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.